You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. Philadelphia is among the latest U.S. cities dealing with a deadly mass shooting. 3 people were killed and 11 others injured when gunfire rang out around 11:30 Saturday night in one of Philadelphia's most popular entertainment and tourist districts. An officer reportedly shot at one of the suspects from about 30 feet away, but it's unclear if the suspect was hit. Identities of the fatal victims were released and include 27-year-old Alexis Quinn, 34-year-old Gregory Jackson, and 22-year-old Chris Minners. Police say 2 handguns were recovered, including one with an extended magazine, but no arrests have been made. Investigators are collecting video surveillance footage from the many bars and restaurants in the area. Police urge anyone who may have seen what happened to come forward. David McCormick conceded the Republican primary in Pennsylvania for U.S. Senate to Dr. Mehmet Oz. McCormick ended his run on Friday when he realized the statewide recount wouldn't give him enough votes to make up the deficit. Before the recount, Dr. Oz led McCormick by 972 votes out of the 1.34 million counted in the May 17th primary. A general election is now set to take place between Dr. Oz and Democrat John Fetterman. This will be considered one of the nation's premier Senate contests. A Lackawanna County man was arrested Friday following a death investigation that started back in 2013. 56-year-old Bruno Rakuba has officially been charged with criminal homicide and theft in the shooting death of his wife, Melissa Rakuba. Bruno called 911 back on August 6th of 2013, stating that his wife had been accidentally shot in the head and that he'd been shot in the hand. Melissa died 4 days later in the hospital. Then in February of this year, Rakuba's daughter told police that Melissa informed her a few months before the shooting that Bruno had pulled a gun on her because she refused to have sex with him. She also informed police that Bruno told her months after the shooting that he was just trying to scare her with the gun, but when he shoved her, it went off. The former band director at Crestwood High School pled not guilty Friday to charges alleging that he groped and grabbed a teenage band student. 39-year-old Theron Roberts of Pringle is accused of inappropriately brushing his hands against a 14-year-old sophomore on several occasions and grabbing her buttocks. Roberts' attorney entered a not guilty plea on his behalf Friday to charges of institutional sexual assault, corruption of a minor, indecent assault, and harassment. Roberts was fired from his post as a music teacher and band director in the spring of 2020. He remains free on $25,000 unsecured bail pending resolution of the case, and a trial date has been set for September 12th. A Wright Township man's behind bars on robbery and drug charges stemming from a New Year's Day altercation and raid at Horizon Village. Police say that 37-year-old Sean Farrell robbed Erica Grabowski and her boyfriend before shoving the pair out the door of his apartment. Farrell also allegedly refused to open up for police, who got a warrant to search the apartment. As a result, police discovered more than 25 grams of marijuana, a large bag of THC gummies, meth, and fentanyl. Police also found 3 hypodermic needles on a coffee table in Farrell's child's bedroom and other various forms of drug paraphernalia. Farrell was arraigned Friday on charges of robbery, theft, receiving stolen property, misbranding a controlled substance, and possession of drugs and drug paraphernalia. He's being held on $15,000 bail in Luzerne County Prison, with a preliminary hearing set for June 16th. A Pottsville man's locked up after allegedly threatening another man with a shotgun early Sunday morning. Police were dispatched to the 400 block of East Market Street just after midnight for a reported fight. There it was learned that 24-year-old George Rohrbaugh Jr. threatened a 23-year-old Pottsville man with a shotgun. Rohrbaugh was located inside a nearby residence and was eventually taken into custody without further incident. He was charged with aggravated assault, terroristic threats, possessing instruments of crime, person not to possess a firearm, reckless endangerment, and persistent disorderly conduct. He was arraigned with bail set at $50,000. During transport, Rohrbaugh then attempted to flee from custody and was again quickly apprehended. A separate criminal complaint was then filed charging him with the attempted escape. He's now behind bars in Schuylkill County Prison. A Nanticoke man has been sentenced to 9 years in prison on drug trafficking charges. 38-year-old William Tehran played a role in a meth and heroin trafficking conspiracy. Tehran previously pled guilty and admitted to participating in a conspiracy to distribute meth and heroin in Luzerne, Lackawanna, and Schuylkill counties. He was one of 5 indicted by a grand jury for meth trafficking in northeastern PA back in December of 2018. The investigation was conducted by ATF, PSP, the Kingston Police Department, the Luzerne County Drug Task Force, and the PA Office of Attorney General. New Luzerne County Manager Randy Robertson's first day on the job is 1 week from today, on June 13th. Members of Luzerne County Council say they want to give him some time to become acquainted with the county and home rule government before holding discussions on what to do with the rest of the county's American Rescue Plan Act pandemic relief funding. Of the $112.9 million, about $16.8 million has been approved for requests received. That leaves about $96 million remaining. Council members also want to be sure any of the projects they've received requests for will fall under the funding guidelines. $300,000 of the funds approved are going toward inspection of the Water Street Bridge connecting Pittston and West Pittston. But ultimately, there's no hurry. Council has until 2024 to act. Today, one of the most historic battles of World War II is remembered. 78 years ago today, on June 6, 1944, over 160,000 Allied troops landed on the beaches of Normandy, France. The D-Day invasion marked the beginning of the battle against Nazi forces, which lasted from June until August of 1944. More than 9,000 American, British, and Canadian soldiers lost their lives. On May 8th of 1945, Nazi Germany formally surrendered to the Allied forces. Coming up on WYLN News, details on an upcoming summer concert series, plus more on this weekend's hill climb in Weatherly. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Lorelai, and I'm 7 years old, and tomorrow it's going great.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Only one company has been a lifetime committed to your safety. Subaru. At Fairway Subaru in Hazleton, we're committed to you and providing the safest vehicles on the road for you and your family. Which is why Subarus come with available eyesight driver assist technology, which can reduce the rate of rear-end crashes by up to 85%. And with lane assist and sway warning, your family will know why Subaru is a leading choice among parents and teen drivers. Discover more about Subaru and all there is to love about it at Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. The right car, the right price, the right dealer.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Did you know that WYLN News provides news updates every weekday afternoon?
At 1, 3, and 5 here on TV and on social media?
Did you also know you can watch WYLN News on the go by visiting our website or YouTube page?
Now more than ever,
WYLN is your local news leader.
Heritage Hills Senior Community's Outdoor Summer Concert Series is making a comeback. The first performance will be taking place in the parking lot on Thursday, June 23rd from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. with a rain date set for Thursday, June 30th. Professional vocalist Lori Woodward will pay tribute to Patsy Cline as she performs the late country music pioneer's greatest hits. Bringing your own lawn chair is recommended, and refreshments will be available. So be sure to call 570-427-4500 and RSVP. Our Wyln sports crew is gearing up for one of our favorite weekends of the year. The Weatherly Hill Climb will be returning to the circuit this weekend, as it has time and time again since its 1961 debut. Racers will be making the trek from all over to head up the mountain this Saturday and Sunday, June 11th and 12th. And as tradition has it, Wyln will be broadcasting live from Weatherly on Saturday from 10:30 to 4:30. So rev up those engines and tune in this Saturday for all the live local action right here on Wyln TV. Coming up on Eckley's News Choice, details on Patchtown Days in Community and You, plus who's leading the way this week. And stay with us for everything else we have lined up for you later tonight on Wyln TV.
This is it, the don't miss, can't miss weekend of the year. It's NASCAR time at Pocono Raceway. And you gotta be there. This is summertime. This is racing. This is the place to be. This is Pocono. NASCAR weekend, July 22nd to 24th at Pocono Raceway. You gotta be there for this.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Jura's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Broad Street, West Hazleton, 570-454-7229.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Have you ever experienced that super pushy salesperson who follows you all around? Not here.
Or wandered around that big box store looking for help in the appliance department only to find the pink guy? Not here.
And we have an experienced, courteous sales staff here to help you find the perfect mattress, piece of furniture, or appliance with no pressure.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Wyln programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
If you want a great job, come to the Poconos.
Check it out. The Poconos has great jobs available right now.
And for many positions, you don't need prior experience. How cool is that?
You can do hotel registration, cashier, dining service, or even a lifeguard.
You can make a career for yourself in the hospitality industry here in the Poconos.
Jobs are available now. Go to PoconoMountains.com/jobs.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information. Once again, it's time for the Weatherly Hill Climb. Watch it live Saturday, June 11th, starting at 10:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on WYLN TV 35. We're your local network.
Today on Community and You, we are talking with Bodie Morin, and we're talking about Patchtown Days. Yes, they're back. That's exciting. Tell us where and when.
Well, we're real happy to have Patchtown Days back. This has been a program at Eckley Miners Village for probably 25 or 30 years, and it's the annual celebration of culture and life in a rural patchtown, or in an anthracite patchtown.
Now, anybody who hasn't been to Eckley Miners Village, what do they see when they get there?
So Eckley is both a very common and a very unique place. It's a very common place because it tells the story of immigrants coming to the United States and building a new life for themselves. And it's a story that was played out lots of times in this area and across the country as well. But as far as a preserved patchtown, a company town, we're pretty unique. There is only one like us in the country. So Eckley is 90 acres. We preserve a number of 2 churches, a number of worker housing. We have museum buildings and exhibits and programs throughout the year. So it's a pretty unique and authentic experience.
Now, Patchtown Days, what happens during that time? Because it sounds like there's enough going on already, but now you're adding more.
Well, Patchtown Days is a 2-day festival where everything is open. So normally if you want to take see the buildings, you have to take a tour. But on Patchtown Days, all the buildings are open, all the interpreted buildings are open. We have a number of artists, a number of musical performers, different food options. There'll be a play by the Eckley Players. There'll be just a number of things going on that'll be a lot more dynamic and vibrant than a regular day.
And when you're talking about doing something like this, is it in the same era as the Patchtown Days, or are we more toward today?
Well, it's not a specific time. It pretty much covers the entire breadth of Eckley's existence. So Eckley was founded in 1854, and we still have people living there today. So it's essentially it's a continuous history of people living there at the village. The idea that this village was founded to rent dwellings to people who worked in the area, that continues today. We're still renting to people that live and work in the area. But if you come out for Patchtown Days, you'll get to visit some of the recreated interiors of houses. So we have houses that are interpreted to the 1860s, the 1870s, 1880s, and 1940s. So several different eras of occupation at the site.
And when we're talking about, again, the entertainment, what do you have as far as, again, is that more or less then, or are we talking now?
Well, this year we're going to focus on the arts and music. So we're partnering with the Walk-In Art Center and the Folk Art Alliance out of Schuylkill Haven, and then we're also working with the Carbon Chamber and Economic Development Corporation to help bring in a much wider group of people. So we're going to be focusing on music that's primarily Appalachian, Pennsylvania Appalachian, coal region music. So it's not going to be specific tunes from the 19th century, but it's going to be music that sort of grew up in this region and was developed in this region.
Boy, you're really talking a lot of history and so much more just than that. When people come, are there going to be food?
Yes, we're going to have a number of food trucks. We've got a barbecue guy. I think we've got a waffle person as well, and some other drink people. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
Now, is there an admission?
Yes, the cost to get in is $10, $9, and $8 for adults, seniors, and kids.
Okay.
And that gives you all the music, gets you into all the houses and activities and programs.
And the dates for this?
It's going to be June 18th and 19th.
And the times?
10 to 5 each day.
All right. Now, I'm going to take everybody to Lackawanna County because there's a lot of things that go on up there that people in Luzerne County and our area like to be able to see. You have something coming up at the Anthracite Heritage Museum.
Right. My other museum is the Anthracite Heritage Museum in Scranton at McDade Park. And every year we do an Arts on Fire program also in June. It's the weekend before Patchtown. So it's going to be a large iron pour. There'll be arts exhibits, art vendors, food trucks there as well. And we're also partnering with Steamtown, who's hosting Railfest that same weekend.
Oh.
So it's going to be a big weekend in Scranton, and this is going to be June 11th and 12th.
Okay, and that's at the Anthracite Heritage Museum at McDade Park.
Well, it's going to be at the Scranton Iron Furnaces,
oh.
which is in downtown Scranton.
Oh, so there's all kinds of things going on.
The Anthracite Heritage Museum is two sites. It's the museum in McDade Park, and it's also the Scranton Iron Furnaces, which is downtown Scranton, and which is only a quarter mile from Steamtown. So Railfest will have a lot of synergy that weekend in downtown.
Wow. So I don't want to hear anyone say there's nothing to do in the month of June, because Bodie has already given you all kinds of plans to make.
Yes.
And we're going to have you back because there's so many more things going on.
Absolutely. Be happy to.
All right. Thank you, and we will see you again on Community and You.
When emergency strikes, trust your care to the all-new ER at Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton. With a facility that's now twice the size. Experienced nurses who see you right away. A quick assessment process makes sure you get the care you need. Advanced technology on site. Safe, private treatment rooms, and a peace of mind that only this level of care can bring. When it matters most, trust your partner in emergency care. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton.
All of the unique things to do in the Pocono Mountains cannot be shown in 15 seconds. You'll just have to book your stay with us to find out.
BLB Auto Sales, a division of Barbush Automotive. They carry trucks, vans, SUVs, sedans, and sports cars, and all at the lowest prices. Barbush Automotive can handle all vehicle repairs since they do it all. Call 570-454-7571.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
All right, come join us later for Let's Talk Chiropractic, where we're going to show what a laser does for our patients. Stay tuned.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Alan Stout's leading the way to kick off this week's series.
Welcome to Leading the Way, and this week we are spending it with Alan Stout. And Alan has worn many hats, so we're going to find out about all the hats. But first of all, where did Alan grow up? Tell us about him before he was everything that you are now.
Well, I grew up in, I guess I was always everything that I am now. You know, you don't change that much. You know, how you're raised by your family and your parents are who you are. I grew up, part of my childhood in South Wilkes-Barre. I lived there till I was about 9. And then I moved to Kingston. And so I've been center of the Wyoming Valley pretty much for my whole life.
So what were you involved in? Because now you have so many different aspects of you. And was there anything when you were younger, growing up, that you thought, that's the path I'm going to take?
I think it really probably was, you know, when I was a little kid, of course, every little kid in the 70s, I wanted to be an astronaut.
That's the only thing you haven't done.
Yeah. And then, you know, oh, that's really hard, isn't it? Okay, I'm not doing that.
Have to know math.
Yeah, and science. And so I actually kind of found my way in college when I realized that I liked writing term papers. Most people, I mean, I remember one teacher gave us 11 assignments, 11 like papers for one semester, and my classmates were, you know, pulling their hair out, and I was like, oh, I kind of like writing them, and at least I can control it, put myself into it. And so I think it was, you know, I was studying to be a school teacher, and I liked doing the term papers, and eventually after being out of college for about 3 years, I shifted gears and I went into journalism.
Ah.
And I spent 18 years at the Times Leader.
Right, and that's also diversified into some other areas as well. So was the Times Leader your first job when you got out of college?
Well, not really. I mean, I was substituting as a school teacher, actually, and I was in so much that I kind of felt like I was a member of the faculty. Sometimes I sub 5 days a week. So I did that for about 3 years. But yeah, you know, you were a sub. You weren't on full-time staff. So the Times Leader really was my first out of college full-time job. And
so your major then was education.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of people, it was the writing that I loved the most about college. I liked to write, like I said, write those term papers, and so I had, you know, sent in some writing samples to the Times Leader back in 1992, so 30 years this year, and that's exactly when I started writing in 1992. So it's been 30 years now that I've been, you know, in one way or another, a journalist, you know, because I'll still freelance from time to time.
Right. Well, hold that thought, because we're going to, the next time when we meet Alan, we're going to find out more about the Times Leader, and we're going to find out what else that led to. It has a lot to do with music. So we'll see you tomorrow on Leading the Way.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page, YouTube page, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.